I'm William Prince. You're listening to The Sunday Verse. This next song we're going to talk about, I really thought it was important to include some kind of original gospel on the record, you know. I think back to all those songs, and it led me really to being a songwriter. And even then, at the time, being young and learning, I guess poetry was the first little start, just putting words together. And I was really transfixed by the process that my dad was recording. You know, I was just learning music and getting better at my skill, but then the words were coming together, and I wanted to write songs, and I wanted to write hard rock songs as well as gospel songs for my dad's records. At the time, my dad was a bit of a discovered voice. Wow, an older native man with a great, baritone voice, and his recording contract life really started when he was about 50. Like, maybe
your dad got a recording contract when he was about 50.
Yeah, like he started working in the city at a number of different studios. The idea was to get him a record to basically have in all the gas stations along the highway up north. You know, it was so classic. You would see these people's CDs in the gas stations, and a lot of them were native gospel, because people, you'd see the Chokin family, they'd have CDs, different people, the Sutherlands and the Stevensons, and that was my dad there too. Like, you'd see his record at the Ashern gas station and up in Thompson or something, and all these others. It was quite the thing to see. So it kind of became a means to an end too, though, because we were always figuring out ways to make money. And then who would have thought by some long shot that my dad would come along and start making albums like so late in his life and selling them. And it actually helped us along. Like, he sold a number of them, and it gave us a reason to, what I didn't even realize was, tour. I was on tour since, 14 essentially, where we would go to these places and set up and play and sell a couple CDs. And it's shouldn't be a surprise that I'm here doing the same thing, I guess. In keeping with that, he needed songs, and I wanted to write for him. I pictured him having a whole album of originals. That was going to be the difference. That was going to be the thing. And I got hard to work and started to write a bunch of different ones. And then this one, I remember it was late at night. I can still feel that heat from an old computer screen with like Yahoo Messenger logged in or something. I'm just a kid,
Like, how old are you?
I would have been, about 14. Songs were often, I started to see them as being delivered that way, like a gift in a sense. Like, there is a craft to it, but I've always given thanks for any song I've been given like that. So When Jesus Needs an Angel was written about a lady in the community. We were suffering a great loss. She was a part of the church community and just beloved by everybody in Peguis. And after she passed away, the family kind of, of course, took it hard, and it was different. And I guess church wasn't really a priority anymore. And there was always a different family church. So we knew that they were attending their church, and then all of a sudden they just weren't anymore. So it's like, obviously that the loss of a mother is the cause for this. And you'd think unshakable faith, and never quite the same again. And I kind of processed the idea, like, even though that's really sad, like, how can I make my own version of Does Jesus Care? We talked about an uplifting song in a time of great grief. And so you could almost say that we talked about wake services. The funeral now is, I guess, the harder of. This is the last day you get to see your person. This is the last that we're going to acknowledge this as an earthly being before returning to dust. And so the idea of a proper, appropriate funeral march kind of song was what I was driven by. And there's power in this old, Johnny Cash E. Like, that's Folsom Prison. That's, Hank Williams. So just this standing, you imagine standing by the funeral, the headstones, I should say, and what would you even sing there? These people are saying goodbye to their mother, children crying and wondering why. What do you say? So I guess at the time I felt that even though it's tragic, there is an honor in going to the kingdom to serve by the Lord's side. And when Jesus needs an angel, when you're chosen, I guess, to fill that role, whatever time, there is no real, I guess, rhyme or reason to it other than you're just needed. So that even in death, there's a service being answered and an honor to it. And that was me trying, I guess, to empathize with a terrible situation and make it something worth living with.
It's a really, if I can say it, a mature song for a 14-year-old to have written.
Jeez, yeah. A little heavy,
Yeah.
But again, one of the first songs that I was given as a completed work, and then it's that song that gets the old snowball turning, like, I can do this, I can put music together, and look how the community reacted, and it made it onto my dad's record and became a song he was known for, and he would sing at every funeral, and it made it on the radio, and
Oh, wow.
and now here we are recreating it, and this whole thing is an homage. My family and these people exist on the periphery of my mind. They are in part sounds and feelings and smells and those old sandwiches that I never really loved, at the funeral service, but we ate together to be with the family. That's all part of it. It really helped shape everything that there is here today.
Do you remember your parents' reaction at 3 a.m. when you played them the song?
Yeah, it was mainly just tears and rejoicing. It was just, wow, moved by this. My dad was getting ready to go into the studio to make what would be his last record, and he needed some songs, and this was one of 4 or 5 or 6 that I wrote, and he wrote 1 or 2 for his last record called Won't That Be a Morning. And on my first album, Earthly Days, the final phrases of Earthly Days, it's the chorus that he wrote to the title track to his 3rd album, Won't That Be a Morning, when we're gathered round the throne, when the angels sing in glory and welcome us back home. So that was his own, rejoice in time of sadness. And yeah, we were just 2 guys writing gospel songs, I guess, back then. And the very definition of gospel, the good news. We bring it forth in that painful, hard situation. And here we are to serve you, Lord, and help the community with our songs in whichever humble, small way that we can for a time to help our brothers and sisters suffering. And there's a great pride in that. We didn't have much, but felt like that was a lot. Thank you for listening to the Sunday Verse. From my new album, Gospel First Nation, this is When Jesus Needs an Angel. The shadow of the day on the gravestone,
a man standing still in the wind. He's lost the one he holds dearest, the one he held closest to him. Now he's alone to raise children. The plan with his wife is now gone. She was too sick and departed. An angel was being called home. When Jesus needs an angel, they must answer the call. They cannot stay here, for he needs them all. Unfair at the time, it seemed, too early to go. Fear not, my brother, the Lord he doth know. A family left broken in pieces. The heart has been taken away. Time will be the healer, though time is quite far from today. Seeking a last moment refuge, a chance to start over again. The man who'd given up Jesus prays that he'll see her again. When Jesus needs an angel, they must answer the call. They cannot stay here, for he needs them all. Unfair at the time, it seemed, too early to go. Fear not, my brother, the Lord he doth know. When Jesus needs an angel, they must answer the call. They cannot stay here, for he needs them all. Unfair at the time, it seems, too early to go. Fear not, my brother, the Lord he doth know. Fear not, my brother, the Lord he doth know.